Now, going over to the political part of the podcast, you have Vivek Ramaswamy critiquing the mainstream media's lack of accountability and going viral. Now, this is specifically coming from his Twitter account, and this is a brief 34-second clip, and he actually does have a little text before it. So the text before the clips is from Vivek saying, quote, "This is exactly what MSM does. Obsess over some irrelevant detail about some random Trump comment while totally abdicating from their responsibility for systematically lying to the public for the last 5 years. The lack of self-awareness is astounding," unquote. And he does get 5 points for using a fancy word such as abdicated. That's one of my favorite ones. I appreciate that. And this is for him being on CNN. And he already has near 1 million views. And without further ado, I will play the actual clip.
Have a dual standard of justice in this country. One standard applied.
But Trump is using the word hostages. Do you think that they're hostages?
For the prior 2 years.
Isn't that irresponsible to call them hostages with what's going on in Israel right now?
I mean, Jim, let me just be really clear about what's irresponsible as it relates to coverage of Donald Trump. And I think that your network and others like you owe some accountability here. From the Russia collusion hoax that never was, to the Hunter Biden laptop story that was actually real before the election were told that it was false. So I think that the real accountability here belongs to the media.
Very true. And in fact, what was it, 51? There are more than, well, what was it, 51, 54? There are many people who are like former CIA operatives or former government officials or federal employees where they swore that the whole thing was true, that the laptop rather was a hoax. It wasn't real. And then of course now we know it was real. Hunter was that dumb to leave his laptop with sensitive data at a computer repair shop. Now, I can't help but think that is the most moronic decision a person can make in their life. Granted, he's inebriated a majority of his life when you look at his recreational activities, so I guess we shouldn't be too surprised. I'll be interested to see again. There's a lot of parallels between Vivek and Trump in their critique of the mainstream media, and I think it's going to help because I think a lot of people, in terms of moves on the political chessboard, there's a lot of people in the middle who really they see the discrepancies and they see the mainstream media not like they're really doing their job anymore. They're not breaking stories. They're nothing. In many cases, it's not more than a copy paste of the government, just saying whatever they want to them to say. I mean, perhaps the most prime example is look at the U.S. press secretary briefings, or you see, I think Peter Doocy's the one person who asks one tough question a day to the White House press secretary. I mean, all the other ones are the most softball questions on the planet. It's almost reminiscent of when you were in public school as a child, where you and your buddies all in agreement when you had a book report, where you wouldn't ask any hard questions when your buddy would go up there and give his report, and it just understood that that's how everyone would get a good grade, because no one asked a question that actually makes you know you read the book or actually challenges you. It's oddly reminiscent of that if you watch the White House press secretary. Now going over to the comments section, and again, this got 843,000 views and 15,000 likes within the course of 48 hours. Now, A.Z. Anderson's one of the top responses says, quote, "Your strategy of running against Trump while supporting all his policies and promising to take them even further is inspired. CNN has to have you on because you're running, quote unquote, against Trump, but you hit them with the truth," unquote, getting 45 likes. It's not rocket science. It says, quote, "Cartoon News Network, kudos to Vivek for spending time on these clowns," unquote, getting 62 likes. Someone by the name of DV says, quote, "Love to see constipated look on Acosta's face as you dress him down," unquote, getting 45 likes. Someone by the name of Steve says, quote, "This is absolutely off base. The MSN has been lying to American people for a lot longer than 5 years. Come on, man. I'm just saying," unquote, getting 18 likes. Someone by the name of Kyle says, quote, "Thank God for Vivek. You may think he's fake or just say what sounds good, but he's saying it. He's putting himself on the line. He's speaking the truth. Mad love from Texas for standing up," quote unquote, getting 56 likes. Let's see here. Somebody by the name of Brian Johnson did a meme of Joseph Goebbels. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong my whole life. I thought it was Goebbels, but it doesn't look like there's an R in there. But nevertheless, he actually has a meme where he has the Joseph from the Nazi Party saying, quote, accuse the other side of what you were doing. And it was Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi propaganda administrator, getting 8 likes. Which I can't but notice that's more and more in politics. They accuse the other side of what they're doing more and more and more. Let me know what your favorite example of that is in the comments. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any contrarian statements. Spearhead Video says, quote, I'm constantly impressed by Mr. Ramaswamy. He is what is in store for America in the near future. It is, of course, if Americans know what's good for them, unquote. Getting 2 likes. Let's see. So it looks like overwhelming positive responses. So it'll be interesting to see how this helps him out in the polls as he continues to slowly but surely climb up the ladder, or climb up the polls, as the competition for the Republican nominee, they precipitously seem to go down more and more. Be fascinating to see, but time shall tell. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of November, so if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a comment is a great way to give me feedback specifically and how I can help improve the show. Thanks to everyone clicking the subscribe button. The stuttering perhaps is getting a little bit better. Again, I'm no Mayo Clinic scientist, but every time you click the button for subscribe, I think it makes the stutter go away just a little bit more. And in time, perhaps we'll see that theory come to fruition. But again, thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.